we are going to have a little thing that we talked about earlier, Kendall and I called, we call it Fly on the Wall. This is with two CFOs. We have Cathy Nadeau, who is from Juilliard, and Derrek Gafford from TrueBlue. Thank you both for joining us.
My pleasure.
So the way this is going to work is that I'm going to tee up the topic and you guys are going to have a conversation. I'm just going to watch and learn. So with that, why don't we start off with you guys just telling us a little bit about your organizations. Derrek, TrueBlue.
Yeah, so when you think about TrueBlue, think about a workforce solutions provider. And what that really means at its most simplistic elements is we provide contingent labor, staffing services to a variety of industrial settings. And we also provide recruitment process outsourcing solutions where a customer will outsource their HR recruiting function to us.
Got it. Cathy?
So the Juilliard School is a top-tier performing arts school in New York City. So we have approximately 800 students doing dance, drama, and music at a top level. We also have a school in China which focuses on music only.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it did reject me, but I don't hold it. I mean, I'm not very good.
You can apply. People can apply anytime.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'll have to think about that. All right. Our first topic is really a broad topic. What are the top challenges or issues on your minds right now? Cathy, why don't we?
Sure. So we have Juilliard has two strategic missions. We need to maintain our excellence, our worldwide excellence, but we also have to make the school more affordable for our students. So that's the balancing act that we're trying to achieve. So a lot of focus on bringing additional resources for scholarships. So that's what is keeping us awake at night.
Well, you know, for us, our business has done really well over the last few years because of the shortness of labor and the tightness of the labor markets. However, this year's been different. You know, companies have taken on a lot of wage increases, so they're really struggling right now with ways to manage some costs in the business. And so a lot of employers, they know they need to hold on to their current employee base, but a lot of our value proposition is workforce flexibility. So a piece of the challenge right now is our industry's down a bit, so it's working through what's almost a recession a little bit in our industry, but you know, recessions come and go. So we're really trying to stay focused on our more strategic digital investments while we're kind of navigating the times of today, so to speak.
Great. All right. Our first kind of real topic here, CPAs. And you talked about workforce or labor shortages. CPAs there's a big shortage of people who are becoming CPAs, people who want to be CPAs. You both have backgrounds as CPAs, and so it's still, is it still a great training ground for future finance leaders? How do we solve this problem? Discuss amongst yourselves.
Well, I'll start off here. I think it's still a really great training ground. You know, the technical skills, the broad exposure you get to business, particularly public accounting, I think it's a really great start. I think the job's changed a lot though. You know, being a technical expert still important, but so many more relevant skills needed today. How you communicate, how you leverage technology, both as a consumer, how you lead technology. So I think the role of the CPA has become much more broad and diverse.
Yeah, I agree that it's still a great training ground. I use the skills or my knowledge almost every day, but you have to become more of an advisor than rely purely on your technical skills. So that's the aspect of, as you grow in the role, leveraging what you've learned, but you know, going more to the advisor and communication role.
Okay, so there's still hope. Got it. Our next topic is sort of the topic of the day. Anywhere you go now, AI. What are you both most intrigued about when it comes to thinking about generative AI in the finance function?
Well, we're super intrigued by both let's call it the quantitative side outside of generative AI. I mean, honestly, that's still where the money is. I mean, that's where the data is. There's so much that can be done there on so many different levels. I think on the generative AI side, there's a lot of opportunities as well. You know, you take an example like when we get into the more qualitative aspects, I give the example of our creditor notes when we're doing collections. That's a great application to get some sentiment analysis on what's going on, not only on how we can improve the collections process, but anybody that's actually worked with the collections process. You also know that wherever there's problems in operations, you see it pop up there. Because when customers aren't paying their bills for some reason, they're displeased about something. So I think there's a lot of different aspects on doing it. I think part of the challenge is how do we move from using it and being a personal assistant to actually doing it scale, like we are within many applications with traditional AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the school, our focus is to improve the level of resource that we have for our students. So using AI to improve our efficiency is something that we are going to focus a lot more than we have done in the past. So we just went to the cloud a year ago, and now it's the next step is to improve our processes and leverage technology as much as we can, and AI will be a part of the journey.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one more quick topic that I'm going to skip to, which is this idea about so many organizations are looking at efficiency and maximizing profitability, but how do you do that and also balance the need for growth?
Well, I think the answer to that question is yes. All right.
All of the above.
All of the above. So I think it's an important trade-off because sometimes the things that seem the most urgent for today, and that is profitability, you have to find a balance between that and what's really important. And what's really important at the end of the day is continuing to innovate, keeping your products, your services competitively differentiated. So we do need to make a profit for our shareholders, but we also need to be investing on what the next wave and the next wave is. So cutting that down too far, I think, can be pretty problematic for long-term growth.
What about you, Cathy?
Well, we're not looking to grow. We believe the right size. It's a very limited pool of talent that we are targeting, but profitability is not a word we use either because we're a non-for-profit, but efficiency, again, to make sure that all of our resources are dedicated to our students to help them succeed is very important.
Great. Cathy, Derrek, thank you so much for this great set of insights. And we are going to now take a quick break. But right after that, Kendall will be back for a similar segment, but this time between two CHROs, coming up next.